Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wednesday, March 13th, 2024 public meeting of the Kingston City Land Bank. My name is Mike. I serve as the executive director. We ask members of the public limit their comments to no more than 2 minutes per speaker. And with that, I turn the meeting over to the board chair, Mr. Nate Hennigan.
Great. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We will get started with a quick roll call. I'll just go in the order of everyone's boxes on my screen. So I'm Nate Hennigan, board chair. Joanna next.
Joanna Dorman, board member.
Barbara.
Barbara Munides, board member.
And Bartek.
Bartek Stardai, board member.
Rebecca. Oh, you're muted.
Rebecca Holderness, board member.
Thank you. And last but not least, Aaron.
Aaron Chilowitz, board member.
Great. Having done the roll call, I don't think we have an agenda or minutes from the prior meeting that we have to vote on, since this is sort of a special meeting. So we'll just move ahead to the reason that we are all gathered here today. Review of a amendment to the board's bylaws. Just pulling up my email. Did we send out Mike, did we send out the revised version? Oh, you're muted.
I did not. I can pull it up and share screen if that's helpful.
Yeah, that actually would be better.
Yeah, totally. Okay. You can see I have plumbing fixtures on my desktop. So this, Nate, was the revision I included in the previous board meeting with an additional item in red, which is the second revision for discussion.
Perfect. Thank you. So just to recap on where we're at so far, so everyone's aware, the current bylaws include provisions that do two things. One is a requirement that board members are Kingston City residents, and two includes a requirement related to the composition of board members being tied to certain county legislative districts. That second provision we haven't even really adhered to, in part because those legislative districts have continually changed. So I think based on our last board meeting, we decided to send it back to this public meeting for further review. I think everybody was pretty much on board with deleting the provision in clause C relating to those legislative districts. But there was some discussion about doing an amendment rather than deleting entirely the residency requirement. And so what you're seeing right now on your screen is sort of a proposed solution that Mike and I did, and I wanted to just sort of use this as a starting point, but again, open the floor to discussion. The idea behind this was to at least have something in here that makes sure that board members do have a specific tie to Kingston, but still making sure that it's a little more subjective and open and up to the board to determine what that is, rather than some other ideas that I think we had kicked around related to different geographic restrictions or a percentage of the board or something like that. So that was the idea behind this proposed language, but happy to open the floor to any discussion.
I personally like that language because I had also thought about, well, what if we say that no more than 20% of board members can live outside the city boundaries. But I think this language takes care of that.
I agree. I think it's open to interpretation enough, as the board changes. It's not going to need to keep being rewritten. It sort of encompasses a lot. And so I appreciate the language.
Yeah, I also agree. I think that it allows for us to really look at each applicant for the board, you know, individually and really take their certain circumstances, their experience, expertise, like what really would make them valuable, you know, as an asset to help the land bank like mission and all of that. So I think that it is open-ended enough, but still has a deep tie to making sure that the interests of the city of Kingston and its residents are at heart for what we're trying to do.
I concur with everything that everyone else said. I think it looks great. It's flexible enough for us to go forward to, and it just would behoove us to make that part of our discussion with prospective board members, right? Especially in the case where they are not Kingston City residents. So just falls back on us to have the rigor of that conversation so we can point to it should we need to.
Great. Any other comments? No? Well, hearing none, no other discussion. Can I entertain a motion to put this to a vote at the next meeting of the general board, which I think is currently scheduled for, if I can pull up my calendar quickly, March.
I move to take it to a vote of the general board meeting.
Do I hear a second? Barbara, second?
Second.
All in favor of moving this to a vote at the next meeting of the general board on March 25th? Unanimous. Great. Thanks, everybody. And with that, I think that was our only real item for general group discussion today. So I guess there's no members of the public at the meeting today for public comments. Do we need to move? I think we need to move to adjourn the public meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn the public meeting.
A second?
Second.
All in favor of adjourning this ad hoc public meeting of the Kingston City Land Bank? Great. Thanks, everybody.
Nate and Mike, if you have 5 minutes, I have a question for you. It's about, do you have a minute? Since this was so quick.
And we're gonna still have our governance meeting.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
great.
Are we?
So